5, 4, 3, 2, 1, blast off.
Hey guys, this is my bearded dragon Dino. I've had him for a few years now, or more than a few years. So today I have him out. I'm gonna have him on a desk with me as I draw a cartoon version of him. And he's gonna eat some lettuce and stuff like that, or some greens, as he models and poses for me. I'm gonna be drawing him as a gift to a client that I work with. So my job, they love animals just as much as I do. And so I thought it would be awesome and sweet to give them a nice drawing of him for their birthday. So you can like kind of hang out if you want to. You can draw along with me. Grab your sketch pad and your pencil or pen, and we can draw together. We're gonna have him with his little cool glasses. Here, Dino, take your glasses. Bow. Hey, you want some more greens? Yeah, take some more greens. Yeah, he loves his greens. Look at him. Eat your greens. Here. Collard greens. You don't want the collard greens? Bow. He doesn't really like them, but we can try. Bow. Look at him. Swag. So, all right, Dino. Here, take these. You got collard greens on your glasses, bro. All right, here's an idea that I had for Dino's head right here. And what I was thinking, since it's for her birthday, maybe I can have him sitting on like a cake or something like that, like kind of hanging off on the cake, or I can have him sitting beside the cake. So I still can play around with different ideas. This is where I'm going to come up with like a concept, kind of like a little layout. So what I like to do is I use a little bit of highlighters and sorry, Dino's starting to act up because he can see the girl and he gets a little upset. So yeah, there you go. You're going to sit right on my sketch. You gonna get mad at me for doing that? Come on, man. So I was thinking I could have him on a little birthday cake. I'll play around with different concepts, and then I'll start like on the final draft. After doing a few quick sketches, I kind of came up with a few little ideas. So I could have him like in front of the cake. I can have him just with a hat and maybe like a balloon that says happy birthday. Like this could be him right here. And then, you know, he's smiling, whatever, yada, yada. And then a balloon could be like off of his tail, and the balloon says happy birthday with a little hat, which is kind of cool. I like that concept. And then there's also this one back here, where I could have him in front of a small cake, and then have the tail have him in front of the cake, like smiling, looking down like he's about to eat it, and then have the tail with the balloon that says happy birthday. Or I can have him sitting beside a cake and have him, you know, looking at it with the cake saying happy birthday. I kind of want it to be more Dino focused, so that way it's not just about the cake only, and because she loves Dino the most. So I think what I'm going to do is just focus it more on Dino, on the character of Dino, and use this one right here as the winner. So I have the head, here's the nose. So yeah, so they're really excited to get their the drawing from me. They kept asking me like all week if I'm gonna get it to them. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna get it to you. I got you. Like, so don't stress it. Like, don't worry. Like, I promise. So I'm keeping my promise, of course, and making sure that they get the drawing of Dino. So I'm really excited about this one. They're gonna like it a lot, and it's gonna look really neat. Actually, I should have started with highlighter in the first place, because he is yellow. He's like a citrusy color anyway. So it would have made sense to see some of this under sketch here anyway. And I kind of just sold myself short trying to start off with pen instead of doing it like I would normally with highlighter. Because usually in my sketchbook, I have a whole bunch of highlighter sketches of, whatever I'm studying. Whatever I'm studying, I'm doing it in highlighter for the most part. Sometimes I'll do it with pen. But lately, like the past couple of years, I've been working with highlighter a lot, and I like it. It's just it makes it fun for me. It's a nice process, and I get to it keeps me from focusing on just one area and one subject. It kind of helps me get a broader view of what I'm drawing. if that makes sense. Like I can kind of play around and have a lot more freedom with it versus when I'm using like pen or something. I kind of tend to focus on a lot of those details and I forget about the overall shape and the overall gesture. So the pen helps me like stay away from all that. Highlighter helps me stay away from all that. And it makes it easier for me to focus on what is important for me, at least. So like, see here, I kind of wanted to make it a little bit bigger. I'm going to make his neck a little larger, and it'll read better when I put it on here. So let's do that. Let's go up, make his eyes a little bit bigger. And then let's put the cake right here. One thing I did forget was the pen. My brush pen. I have a Tombow brush pen that I like using a lot. And I left that at work, which kind of sucks, but it's okay though. I'll make it work. I'll just do it with a little big pen and kind of go from there. And this time I feel a lot more confident with this one. So I'm gonna start off with these things here, like overall shapes. And see, this is where I like having these little underlayer sketches, because now I can kind of play around with it and not feel so locked in with the shapes that I chose and things like that. So, and then I can like kind of have more fun with it. Dino usually has like, I think it's like 4 toes, but I'm gonna just give him 3 because it's a cartoon and nobody notices that on cartoons. So I have his legs here, so I'm gonna lock those in now, and I'm gonna kind of give him like almost like if you ever seen a bearded dragon, like if you ever had one or just noticed one before, they kind of have like a bully stance, like a almost like a bulldog type of stance or feel to them. They have that big, like broad kind of feel, especially him because he's a male. And you can really feel it when he's standing. He stands like really big and bulky, and he wants to feel like he's the big guy. And so it's kind of cool. So I'm gonna kind of play on that a little bit in the sketch and kind of use that to my advantage to draw it in there. So I'm gonna draw his like big old, almost like he's got big old biceps type of feel, and then big old forearms for his legs right here. And I'm gonna kind of exaggerate some of those lines. Bop, bop. See that? So it's starting to make her feel. Sorry, that was the gecko. He doesn't like when I'm in the room. My gecko Tyrone, he likes to. He's a little bully too. He thinks he's bigger than the universe, and so he's really aggressive. And so he tries to bite me a lot sometimes. Actually, whenever I'm trying to handle him, he bites a whole lot. And I remember when I got him from the original owner, I was gonna like buy them from him initially. Well, actually, I wasn't even gonna buy him. That's a lie. I was gonna buy some supplies that he was giving away. And so then he ended up telling me that he didn't want his crested gecko anymore. And so I was working as an assistant teacher at an old job. And so he thought that was neat and he just gave them to me. But then after I had him for a few days, I realized why he gave them away. And it was because he was really aggressive. And I guess they just didn't want to handle him anymore. So I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense why they were just willing to give him away like that. But it's okay. I don't get bothered by it being aggressive. Like I'm okay with it. He's bitten me, but you don't feel it. It's just like feels like you're just pinching your skin together like that. That's the extent of it. So to me, it doesn't bother, but I guess to them, it was just too much. And so they wanted to just get rid of him. So I ended up taking him and now I have him here. He's kind of like a chocolatey color. One day I can do like a little sketch of him or something like that. That would be kind of cool. And just kind of have fun with that. Maybe I can take him out in a video so you guys can see how aggressive he is. So they named him Tyrone. I didn't name him that. I thought that was kind of a cool name for him. So I was like, oh, okay, cool. It was like it was a couple that had him, and so they guess couldn't handle him anymore and gave him away. All right, so there's his head, his back. I'm gonna give him his little curves here. And so another thing, when you're sketching, you don't have to worry about connecting every single line. So sometimes you want to lead the eyes around, and having open lines like this, you complete it. Your brain will complete those lines and they don't have to be connected all the way. They're like leading lines. They lead your eyes to what you want. And so that's something that I learned when I was going to the Art Institute. There were some really cool teachers there, even though like the Art Institute had its, horrible outcome where they were like basically robbing everybody. I did learn a lot of cool things from some of those teachers that were there, and it wasn't their fault. But yeah, it was really neat to see like learn a lot of those things with animation and things like that. So here's his profile, like his side profile. It's almost like a 3/4. And so now I'm gonna start working on his face. His face is gonna be I'm gonna have him smiling. So I'm gonna make him pretty animated. I was thinking about doing like a more calmer face, but I think the animated look will look all right and it'll be okay. Normally, like if I'm sketching for myself, I'm gonna make him look a little bit more stoic or a little bit more heavier. But since it's for a birthday gift, let's make him look nice. I want him to look kind of like a nice guy. I'll put this here and then let's have his tongue right back there. And then I'm gonna shade these in so you can see this is where his mouth is closed off at. And then we're gonna align. Here we go. We're gonna do this. And I'm gonna go down this way. And his eyes are gonna be like about here. His other eye is gonna be about here. And this is gonna be like, he has like little sharp, like above his eyelid basically. He has like a set of little ridges that go around like that. And that's just how their look is basically. I'm gonna cut his eyebrow here. Let's make this a little bit more defined. All right, and then that's like that. And I'm gonna give him a little eyebrow going in. Okay, all right, so then his nose is gonna be like about here. Give him his little nostril there, bow, and then the other one on this side here. And we're gonna go up. So there we go. And that's his like upper lip kind of thing. And usually what they have is like a little ridge above their lip right here. So I can connect that. You see how it works? And then on the bottom too, I can just do one here, one there. And he also has his beard, which is what makes him a bearded dragon. So what I like to do is I'm gonna, when I was working as a caricature artist, I remember I struggled with this, with making hair or anything kind of like sharp and, have curves. You wanna like kind of flick your wrist or like the pen to kind of create those curls and curves. And you don't have to connect everything, because I remember I used to get caught up in doing this, and this makes it look more flat versus creating those different dynamic shapes. It makes it a little bit more fluid, you know what I'm saying? So it's just kind of a fun way to create the beard or the hair without having to commit to it too much and still keep it loose and have it feel like it's hair or like a beard coming off of the face of the character or whatever you're drawing, and you keep it loose. Like this took me a while to really understand. Like I didn't have to connect everything. Having that looseness, it gives it more life, if that makes sense. So like now this sketch I'm liking a lot more. This feels a lot more solid. It feels a lot more confident. Like I know where I'm going with it. And I just wish I had my brush pen. I might look inside my art supplies and see if I have like an extra one. Usually I buy them in bulk, so I might have one in there, but we'll see. And I can ink it up really nice and neat. All right, so I can't find it, so I'm just gonna kind of just keep using my pen and work from there. I'm also gonna add this other leg over here on this side. Even though it's in the shadow, I can still use it and then kind of push it back into space by putting it in a small shadow like that. So that way it looks more balanced to me, because it was looking a little off. Like you would still see that leg somewhere, especially if he's lifting himself up. You would see that more into the drawing. All right, let me add some of this up here. This is like the little pattern he has on his tail. All right, so now let's focus on the eyes a little bit, because that's where you can really capture the character the most. So I was gonna have him maybe look, should I have him look up like this? Yeah, I think that looks a lot cuter. Let's do it that way. So I'm gonna have him look up this way, bow, and like that. So you can have this here and that there. So let's finish off this cake. And what I'll do is I will like thicken some lines that I need, that I feel like are more important. This is just to kind of lay down the sketch itself. And then I'll kind of make it look really nice and cool afterwards and finish it up the way I want to. So yeah, again, usually I use that Tombow brush pen. I love those pens. They're like a not a fountain pen, but they're a felt tip pen, and they come out so clean. Like, I love the shapes that you can get, the lines and brushwork you can get with it. Super cool stuff. I like using those tools whenever I'm creating. Just makes it look a lot nicer and cleaner for myself. Put a couple scales down here. I also like doing this, since he's kind of a big chunky dude. Give him like the little swirls on his little elbows. Also has a little pattern going down this way. That, right? There we go. Like that. He also has one going down this way, because he's not completely yellow everywhere. I feel like I can play around with this a lot more, like really stylize it. But for the sake of what I'm doing it for, I don't want to do that right now, if that makes sense. Not being lazy, but being lazy. Normally I would push a lot more out of these drawings and really get it to where I want. But I think this looks great for me for now. And I'll start adding some. So here's a shadow, like that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my watercolor here, and I'm going to start adding watercolor in a little bit. Oh, let me add the birthday balloon. So I was thinking the birthday balloon. Let's do that. Give him his chest look a little bit bigger, and I can like put that in the shadow as well. Okay, so I like the way this feels a lot better. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add the balloon. Let's see how I'm gonna add the balloon. On here I had it at the end, so maybe I can like add a few little strings here and then do like a short balloon, like a really small one right here, because this is gonna go in a frame, so I don't want it to be kind of covered. And I'll put like happy birthday. So let's do H. Maybe I could do the happy birthday in marker, or I'll go over it with pen. So let's do this. I'll create the little ridges on the outside, almost like it's one of those Mylar balloons. I think that's the word, Mylar. And have it, kind of go from there. And I'll put a little string right there, and maybe some confetti in the background. But I could do the confetti with the whatchamacallit. So let me look at this. Am I feeling that? Sometimes what I do is I turn things upside down too, or I'll look at it from a different angle. And that helps me just kind of see like if there's any things that kind of sit off, that don't seem like they sit well together, or they're kind of off a little bit. Like here, like for the eyes, I think technically we wouldn't be seeing the other eye. It would just be, one side, and you'll just see the skin. But for the cartoon, I kind of force it to be one way. It looks a little off, but it's okay. What I might do is I'll connect it to the nose like this, and then make it like the bridge, and then it looks like he's almost like he's cross-eyed almost. And then that'll help that part right there, and it'll clean it up a little bit for me, so I don't have to think about it too much. So like part of cartooning is like fixing, like solving, and like kind of creating your own stuff too. So you gotta have to play around with those shapes. All right, Dino, what do you think? Do you approve? Do you feel like it feels like you? All right, cool. All right, so I think that's his yeah. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna keep this one. I'm gonna get like a nice little frame for it. I'll probably go to IKEA tomorrow and get a frame for her so I can put it in there and wrap it up and give it to them. So yeah. All right, thank y'all for watching. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe.